definitively know which one of these men is her biological father?
I don't know.
It's okay, because when you tell her, they can't hold you hostage anymore. You're in your own prison, lying and telling this person one thing and this person one thing, and your family members, you just keep calling them messy, and they looking at you like you messy, and everything's a mess.
I received a phone call. I don't remember the guy's name. He said he was the father. Another man that she told him that they were going to have a happy family together and move away.
That's
Really? Who is this person?
I told you he was a stalker. He just pops up anytime I was moving.
Your Honor.
Oh, that's the same guy from the refrigerator
Yes,
scene?
ma'am. Yes.
This case is already ridiculous, and it just started. Mr. Boston swears up and down he's not Tristan's dad, while Ms. Murphy says she's done with his lies. Judge Lake asks for proof, and Mr. Boston confidently claims he never even slept with Ms. Murphy until 2 seconds later, when he admits he did but used protection.
Mr. Boston, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say you have undeniable proof that there is no way possible that you are the biological father of the defendant's 10-month-old son, Tristan.
This argument is straight out of a soap opera. Ms. Murphy insists they were together, while Mr. Boston acts like she made the whole thing up. She says he basically lived at her house, while he claims he was just passing through. Ms. Murphy claps back saying, "Boy, stop. You were in my bed."
Your Honor, you have to have sex to make a baby. And I don't believe in, I don't remember even doing that with.
Lies. You was at my house all the time, every day, every night in my bed. Stop it.
I mean, I'm not denying it like that, but I'm just saying.
So what are you saying?
He's lying, Your Honor, see?
If things weren't already messy, Mr. Boston just made them worse. He says he didn't even know Ms. Murphy's real name. She says he was happy when she told him about the baby, rubbing her belly and smiling. But Mr. Boston claims he found out from some random person asking, "You know a girl named Teresa?" Turns out he only knew her as Bookie.
He started coming over my house, spending the night, and we had sexual encounters plenty of times on several occasions in my bedroom. I found out you was pregnant. I was like, yes, I am. I'm 2 months. He rubbed my belly and everything.
In the process of me being over a family member's house, that family member came in the house and told me, well, you know somebody named Teresa? At the time, I didn't know her government name. Only thing I knew was
He's
Poop.
lying.
Mr. Boston switches up his story again, now saying there was a time gap that makes him doubt the baby is his. Ms. Murphy isn't having it, saying he was there the whole time. Mr. Boston then admits he visited Tristan after he was born, but only to stare at him like a detective, trying to spot a resemblance.
When I found out I was pregnant, I didn't tell him. I was at home. He came to my house and knocked on my door. I heard you was pregnant. I'm like, yes, I'm 2 months. Putting his hands on my belly. Now, during the time that I was pregnant, he was coming over there, but he had stopped when I was like 6 months. He had stopped coming over my house.
Just when you think this case couldn't get crazier, boom, another guy enters the mix. Ms. Murphy admits she was with someone else after Mr. Boston, but he insists there were multiple others. The judge then reveals that Mr. Gregory has been located and brought in to testify. Mr. Gregory says he did have a thing with Ms. Murphy, but as soon as she told him she was pregnant, he ghosted her like a magician.
Have had a relationship with Ms. Murphy.
A sexual relationship. She texted me on Facebook and told me she was pregnant. I never talked to her again. Like, I blocked her, so
He actually blocked me, Your Honor, because he had went back home to his girlfriend and he thought that I was gonna break up a happy home, which it wasn't nothing like that because I don't want to break up no happy home. This is about my son.
Ms. Murphy's best friend takes the stand and immediately makes things messier. She says Mr. Boston was always around, proving Ms. Murphy's point. But then she also says there was a short break in their relationship, and that's when Mr. Gregory showed up. So now it's officially a circus.
Who do you believe is Tristan's biological father?
Mr. Boston.
And why is that?
Well, I was living with Teresa the whole time.
So when he was saying he wasn't really coming over there that much.
Right, he was.
And he was sleeping on the floor.
He was sleeping in my bed.
Was Mr. Boston the only man coming over there within that 4-month period?
When she was saying him, he was the only man.
If you thought this case couldn't get any wilder, think again. The judge reads Mr. Gregory's results first, not the father. Then she reads Mr. Boston's results, not the father. The courtroom reacts like they just saw a shocking movie twist. Judge Lake asks the big question. Do you even know who the father is?
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Gregory, you are not his father. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Boston, you are not the father.
This whole thing was messy right from the start. Judge Lake introduces Sauces versus Payne, where Ms. Sauces wants Mr. Payne to take responsibility for their 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. She says his mom put doubts in his head, and she wants his name on the birth certificate if the DNA test proves he's the dad.
Ms. Sousis, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say it's his mother's fault he's denying your 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. You claim when the DNA results prove he is the father, you want the defendant's name added to her birth certificate.
The drama kicked off fast with cheating accusations flying everywhere. Mr. Payne says Ms. Sousis went to the movies with another guy, but she claps back that he also talked to his ex and other girls. Basically, both of them were acting messy, and now nobody trusts anybody.
The first day after we started talking, she went to the movies with some other guy, Facebook messages telling her ex she loved him.
But the next day you did something with another girl and you was just telling your ex you loved her, so what's the difference?
You lying in court.
You did contact your ex?
Yeah, I said I cared for him. I never said I loved him. He told his ex he loved her, and I did go to the movies with a boy.
At first, Mr. Payne was excited about the baby, but then he started doing some sketchy math. Since they had just gotten back together 2 weeks before the pregnancy test, he suddenly wasn't so sure. His mom jumped in too, saying she had doubts about the whole situation from the start.
What happened when you told him you were pregnant?
He was happy for a minute. I don't know, I guess there we go with the DNA test stuff, so yes.
How soon after you got back together did...
2 weeks.
It seemed like right away. The only reason why I questioned it, because the first time she was pregnant twice, I knew without a doubt it was his because she didn't go anywhere. I couldn't get rid of her.
This got even crazier when a random lady at the grocery store joined the drama. She told Mr. Payne's mom that Ms. Sousis moves around, making the doubt even worse. Ms. Sousis is fed up with strangers talking about her. But honestly, even the Walmart cashier probably has an opinion at this point.
There was a time when someone came up to me in the supermarket. A lady comes up to me and she goes, yeah, well, you're right to want a DNA test because she moves around. This lady, she knows. I came home and told him and he told her.
Everybody got something to say about
Right,
herself.
but I don't know this lady. I'm like, how does she know about me wanting a DNA test? You understand what I'm saying? Second of all, like, who are you? I don't know the lady.
Mr. Payne was at the birth, but didn't sign the birth certificate, which made everything harder. Mrs. Sousis says he disappeared after 2 months, but he swears she pushed him away. Meanwhile, his mom is like, we live in the same apartment complex. How do you disappear?
He was there. He didn't sign birth certificate. Obviously, we're here now. He was there for like 2 months and then he just disappeared.
No, I did not. She didn't want to be around me.
We live in the same complex, so it's kind of hard to disappear.
What's upsetting you the most?
I've been doing this for so long by myself. It's like, I'm just fed up.
Judge Lake sees how exhausted and mad Ms. Sousis is. She says she had to do everything alone, but Mr. Payne claims she wanted it that way. Just when things seem deep, they go back to arguing about nonsense again.
Fit his head, like, it took you guys 10 months just to do this. Like,
You kept her away, though.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Don't do that.
But that's
How do I keep her away?
He is there, and he does.
But how do I keep her away?
He does
said
do
more than that, I didn't do nothing at all. Got
You
it.
disappeared.
Not even
You
knowing.
come in and out
How
of
did I
life.
just not making
I
no
did.
sense?
All right,
Let's get some order. Let's get some order.
All right.
Ms. Sousis is mad because Mr. Payne didn't sign the birth certificate, making things way harder. His mom told him not to sign until a DNA test, which dragged everything out for 10 whole months. Now he says he's ready to be a dad, but will he actually follow through?
Aleliana's birth certificate.
Yes, that's another reason why I didn't let him take her as much.
I told him if you have any doubts, sign it. If you have any doubts, get the DNA test first, like y'all doing now.
And I had a
Then you
doubt,
sign
and
it.
it's sad that it took 10 months
It's sad, yes.
for
it
it
is
to
sad.
happen, but at least it could happen today. And if
Good.
All the way.
100%, you
All
don't
the
gotta
way.
say good, because I know what I'm gonna do.
The room got so tense you could hear a pin drop. The DNA results come in, and boom,
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Payne, you are the father.
Thank you.
this case was messy from the jump, and it only got wilder. Mr. Jordan says he got tricked into signing a birth certificate for a kid that might not even be his. Ms. Heim says he's the dad, but she also admits she cheated. So this is already a disaster.
You claim the defendant tricked you into signing her daughter's birth certificate and being a daddy. But 2 years later, you were told that another man is her biological father. Because you want DNA proof you are not the father, so you can get your name removed from the birth certificate.
Mr. Jordan is fuming because he says Ms. Heim straight up lied to him. She told him another guy already took a DNA test, so he never questioned it. Turns out that was a whole lie. And what happens next is even crazier.
She tricked me into thinking that the other guy had done got a paternity test on Caitlyn. Cause she told me, oh, he already got, that's why I know it's just you. She tricked me into thinking that family was something sacred.
And what was her motive?
I think her only motive was that she was able to get away with it, honestly. Cause at the end of the day, I think that she had the advantage.
Mr. Jordan really loves this kid and talks about being there for everything. He was cutting umbilical cords, running for weird pregnancy cravings, and doing the whole dad thing. But his happy dad moment was about to get a rude awakening.
I love that little girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was there, I cut the umbilical cord, I passed out. I was there, you know what I'm saying? I sung happy birthday when she was born. You know what I'm saying? I watched the little nasty little afterbirth. Horrible, you know what I'm saying? But I was there.
So you were there for the whole birth
Everything.
and the nasty afterbirth.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? I was there for the weird pregnancy cravings. I was there to rub the feet.
A family fight dropped the biggest bombshell of all. Someone blurted out that Mr. Jordan wasn't the father, and then showed him pictures of another guy with his kid. And just like that, his whole world flipped upside down.
This is where it goes wrong. Her and the family member gets into like an altercation or whatnot, like an argument. So she said something about, the family member turned around and was like, well, why you ain't told Chris that he's not Caitlin's dad?
What?
So I'm like, it's very funny, but you know, you can say whatever.
The receipts came out, and they were bad. Some dude named Santavius Knight was online calling Caitlin his baby. Mr. Jordan was just sitting there like, wait, what?
The
He hit
family
like an
member shows you
18-wheeler.
pictures.
Yeah, and as you can see right here, Your Honor, like, I don't like to say people look alike, but I'm like, yo, it's a lot of resemblance here.
So this is another one posted up,
It's
and this
me
is
and my
from
baby Kate.
Santavius Knight, and it reads, me and my baby Kate.
Santavius walked in like he already won. He swore Ms. Heim told him Caitlin was his, and that she promised to fix the birth certificate. If that wasn't messy enough, wait till you hear what Ms. Heim does next.
She told me that it was my baby. She said, I'm pregnant. I said, what you telling me for? She said, cause it's young. Telling me I love you when you get home. I let somebody else sign the birth certificate. I'm gonna fix it when you get home. Did it in the third. I'm like, okay, say no more.
She let somebody sign the birth certificate, but she's gonna fix it when you get home.
Yeah.
No.
Judge Lake was done with the nonsense. She called out Ms. Heim for playing both guys and making a total mess, but the biggest twist was still to come.
Definitively know which one of these men is her biological father.
I don't know.
It's okay, because when you tell her, they can't hold you hostage anymore. You're in your own prison, and that's why you're just spinning and lying and telling this person one thing and this person one thing, and your family members, you just keep calling them messy, and they looking at you like you messy, and everything's a mess.
The whole room went silent as the results came in.
The biological father is Mr. Jordan.
This case is a wild ride from the start, so buckle up. Ms. Davies says her fiancé, Mr. Hunter, called off their wedding because of rumors and now denies their son Jaden. Mr. Hunter says he has every reason to doubt because of what he knows about her past.
Ms. Davies, you say that after being with Mr. Hunter for 5 years, he's now given into lies and rumors about your past, scrapped your wedding plans, and is now denying your son Jaden.
Canceling a wedding is one thing, but canceling it because you don't trust your fiancé, that's next level. Mr. Hunter says he's seen too much to go through with the wedding and won't believe Jaden is his until he knows for sure.
You called off the wedding plans, Mr. Hunter?
Yes, Your Honor, because things I've seen, I don't really trust the things she do. I've seen too much to keep going on with this, so I have to make sure that this child is mine.
Well, Your Honor, we met like 5.5 years ago through a mutual friend. I would say that we were happy when we first got together.
Ms. Davies really says, yeah, I talked to other guys, but only because he cheated first. Mr. Hunter says she started it, and suddenly, this case feels like a playground argument. The judge isn't impressed, and neither is anyone watching.
Because Devon was out with other females.
That's not true. I caught her first, so that's when I started. I caught her with her phone messages first, and then I started going out, stepping out.
After I seen the text messages, the females calling my phone, then I decided that, okay, two can play that game, and I decided to go out and talk to someone else.
And now for the bombshell. Ms. Davies admits she had a fling while with Mr. Hunter. Not only that, but she also wasn't always using protection. Mr. Hunter is now looking at her like he just realized his whole life might be a lie.
Well, once I briefly had a relationship with a guy. We were sexually together a few times.
Did you use
Why
protection?
she was with me?
A couple times we did not, Your Honor.
You find out you're pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor. He was denying my son from the gate. He's
No,
like, are you sure it's mine?
Mr. Hunter says people told him Ms. Davies was out at parties, acting real suspicious. She says she went out but denies doing anything shady. The judge reminds her she's already admitted to a whole lot. So why stop now?
People tell me that she been hanging out, hopping in and out of cars. I had a friend that told me they went to a party one time and she hooked up with some guy at the party. That was around the time when the baby was finna be conceived.
You just smirking, Miss Davies.
I did go to parties, but as far as me hooking up with guys at a party, that is false, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter says he was at Ms. Davies' house, dozed off, and woke up to another guy and girl in her room. Ms. Davies confirms she was about to have a study session with them. The judge's face says it all. This is beyond messy.
One day, I'm at her house, right? She let me stay over her house. I accidentally fall asleep longer than she brings another guy and another girl upstairs into the room while I'm in there.
That is true, Your Honor. And I did let him come over just because he was drinking. He said he needs to sleep it off for a while. So I'm thinking he's gone. And so I did come with the guy and the girl to my house and my room.
After all this, Ms. Davies suddenly realizes Mr. Hunter doesn't trust her. Shocking. The judge reminds her that she gave him every reason to doubt. The audience isn't sure whether to feel bad or just shake their heads.
This is hurtful to hear all these things he thought about me.
You can't be too hurt right now, 'cause it's not the first time. I caught her in the kitchen. We sitting in the living room one day, and then she gets up and walks to the kitchen, and she's in the kitchen for like 10, 15 minutes. She's supposed to came back already. I walk around to the kitchen, and she's damn near standing in between this guy's legs. Like, you know what I mean? What is that about?
Because you say it hurts to hear you.
Ms. Davies says Mr. Hunter barely interacts with Jaden and even skipped his birthday. Mr. Hunter says he didn't want to deal with drama. The judge reminds him that a 4-year-old doesn't care about all that. He just wanted his dad there.
He's present in the home, but he does not physically interact with Jaden. We just had a birthday party for Jaden. Devon didn't show up.
And she gonna start tripping on me and all kind of stuff, because we weren't, like, at that time, she was mad at me anyway. So
Doesn't matter, you're still supposed to show up to his birthday party.
If I came to the birthday party,
But
she
if
would have
this
been jumping all over me.
Ms. Davies comes in with proof, hair texture, height, and even how Jaden stands. The judge looks at her like, ma'am, that's not how DNA works. It's cute, but science is about to settle this.
I have evidence right here. Look at Mr. Hunter's hair and look at my son's hair. They both have curly hair, nice hair. My hair is nothing like that. My hair is nappy. I need a perm.
And I understand you're looking at texture of hair. Don't say good hair, baby. All hair, if you have some, is good.
All right.
Moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hunter, you are not the father.
I told you.
This whole mess kicks off like the wildest reality show ever. Mrs. Simmons says Mr. Burgess begged for a baby, then vanished when she got pregnant, while he swears it was just a fling. They both came ready to argue, and trust me, it only gets messier from here.
Ms. Simmons, you claim that the defendant begged you to have his baby, but then disappeared when you told him you were pregnant. So you're here to prove to Mr. Burgess and his fiance that he is your son's father.
If bad choices were a sport, these two would be champions. Ms. Simmons says they met online, hit it off, and had intimate violence on the first day, without working protection. Now they're in court, debating who's responsible, and it's already chaotic.
We was talking online at first, and we was talking over the phone, and he had told me he was single, and then I had came to his house and everything, and the first day I did come to the house, we did have sex on the first day. We just was kicking it ever since then. We was using condoms, but they kept breaking, so we stopped using condoms.
Mr. Burgess, did you tell her you were single?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
They cannot agree on how often they even saw each other. She swears she basically lived at his house, while he acts like she only popped by a few times. The yelling match kicks off, and it's clear they are not on the same page.
We was always having sex.
That's not true, Your Honor. When I met online, I talked to her once or twice. I got her number, and she came over maybe once or twice.
You a lie.
Started three times probably a week for up to between 2 to 3 months.
No, you a lie. I was over there almost every day. I was at your house. So how is it only twice or 3 times? Don't lie, because she's here.
Mr. Burgess really pulls out a whole poster board to prove he can't be the dad. His math makes 0 sense. Something about 4,840 days of unprotected intimate violence with no babies before. Ms. Simmons calls him a liar, and honestly, so would any math teacher.
3 is meaning when she came to my house, the first time she ever came to my house, it was within 3 hours of us having sex. She told me she was pregnant the next day. She was like, I'm pregnant. I said, how you gonna know that? She was like, I know my body. That's what she said.
I never tell you I was pregnant until I had 2 pregnancy tests. So why you lying?
Of having unprotected sex, I ain't never had no baby.
Now, Ms. Simmons says he was the one who wanted this baby. She says he told her he wanted a daughter, then disappeared to Alabama. The plot thickens, but wait until you hear how hard it was to even find him.
First of all, the man asked me, even though we was having sex at the time, he was like, I want you to have my baby. I want to have a daughter because I already have a son. And I want you to have my daughter because I had sent him a picture of the 2 pregnancy tests I took. And when I spoke on the phone with him, I was crying because I was like, starting to get into my life. I was going to school, I had a job, and I was like, I ain't ready to be nobody. So he was like, yeah, don't cry.
The second she got pregnant, this man vanished like a magician. She went to his apartment, and his neighbors said he'd been gone for a month. His excuse? He was just rekindling things with his fiance, who's about to really stir things up.
To get a real hospitalized pregnancy test, they tell me that I'm 13 weeks and 6 days. So I call his phone looking for him. Matter of fact, I popped up at his apartment and everything so I could show him the ultrasound pictures. He ain't there for his downstairs neighbor to tell me that he been gone for a month. How you been gone for a month and I just told you I might be pregnant with your baby? How is that possible? But you call yourself a real man though.
The fiance, Ms. Arnold, found out because she went through his phone. Yikes. She saw texts from Ms. Simmons and called her from his phone, demanding answers. Now she's in court, and the drama is at an all-time high.
I went through his phone. He came to Alabama to visit me one week, but I noticed the whole time that when he was there, his phone was off. So he had to charge his phone up. But as soon as it comes on, 2 text messages pop up. He ended up falling asleep. I looked at the phone. The unknown number said, so this how you gonna do? You sending me to the voicemail.
Judge Lake has had it with the nonsense. She reminds them that if Burgess is the dad, his fiance will legally be in the child's life. Nobody likes that, but guess what? DNA results are next.
Ms. Simmons, what you don't understand is if it is his biological child, barring some extreme circumstance where it would be deemed that he would be unfit to see his child, he would have a legal right to see the child. When you have a child by someone, you're not married to them. If they're married to someone else, that person, by default, becomes a part of your child's life.
And just like that, the truth is out.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Burgess, you are the father.
This is already crazy, and we just started. Ms. Holsinger says Mr. May is her baby's dad, but he says he got tricked into signing the birth certificate. Judge Lake looks like she's about to have a long day.
Ms. Holsinger, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old son, Gabriel. You say Mr. May has abandoned his responsibilities and he will get the truth today. Mr. May, you claim you were pressured into signing the birth certificate and now you are with a woman foolishly believes you are her child's father.
Who knew a late-night chat could turn into a paternity fight? Ms. Holsinger called a chat line because she was lonely. And next thing you know, she and Mr. May were not just talking. Judge Lake jokes, isn't it just for chatting?
I met him off the chat line. I was lonely, so I decided to call and try to basically find something to do.
Yeah, she found something to do, and we end up messing around too fast.
That's what I don't understand about these chat lines, Ron. It's supposed to be chatting.
Yes.
How did it get?
The chatting and things start happening.
So then you met her?
This should have been a big moment, but it got messy fast. Ms. Holsinger says she told Mr. May right away, but he says she waited months. Now he's got questions. And oh boy, he's about to get answers.
I called him and told him that it was a possibility of me having his child.
That wasn't how it went.
Yes, it is.
No. 10 months passed by, and then she just told me that she was pregnant.
Were you all still in a sexual relationship all the time? How many months is that?
I think about 4 months.
I need details.
Yes, ma'am. She called me one day, she told me she was pregnant.
This part feels like a bad movie scene. Mr. May was at her house when a car started beeping outside, and she insisted he leave through the front door. He went out the back anyway and found a random guy waiting. Yikes!
One time we was upstairs in a room and hearing beep, 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 beep outside, and it didn't leave. So she was asking me, was I ready to leave? About to go out the back door, she told me to go out the front door. Open up the back door, there's a gentleman right there. And he asked me, was I there for Mrs. Holsinger? I told him I wasn't there for Mrs. Holsinger. I was there for one of her family members, and I proceeded to walk on out the door.
Mr. May's gut was telling him something wasn't right. He saw sketchy late-night texts on her phone, and a friend told him she was with someone else. Now he's really wondering if this baby is his.
I'm seeing messages pop up on the phone. That led me to doubt too. Not only the backdoor situation, but just text messages. A mutual friend had told me that he had been involved with Miss Holsinger. You know what I mean? And
who was that? I wasn't even in a relationship, so why would I have to hide somebody's
Why would she hide
name and a
herself,
number?
Your Honor?
If there was a time to step up, this was it. But nope, Ms. Holsinger went into labor, and Mr. May was nowhere to be found. Judge Lake calls him out for disappearing at the worst moment.
He wasn't there for me. My family member actually had to go and get him so he could come up there and see my son.
I had my doubt. That's why I wasn't willing to just go catch the bus or get a ride or anything.
And you know that there is a potential that the child could be yours. Even if Spidey sense has been activated and you've seen other, why wouldn't you show up for the birth?
I had my doubts, Your Honor.
This man says he only signed because her family kept saying, look, The baby has your nose. Even though he had doubts, he just went with it. Big mistake, because things are about to get even messier.
I see here, it says you signed the birth certificate too.
Yes,
How did
Ron.
that happen?
Pressure. He has your nose, he has your head. What you gonna do now? This, that. Let me just be a man, let me sign the birth certificate. If it's mine, I'm gonna deal with it.
Did you know when you signed that certificate, did you understand
Yes, Your Honor.
that you would be now
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
legal father of this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
Plot twist. Another guy called Mr. May and said he was the real dad. Ms. Holsinger says that guy was a stalker, but at this point, nobody knows what to believe.
I received a phone call. I don't remember the guy's name. He said he was the father. Another man that she told him that they were gonna have a happy family together and move away. And
That's
Really? Who is this person?
I told you he was a stalker. He just pops up anytime I was moving.
Your
at
Honor.
the
Oh,
time.
that's the same guy from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
refrigerator
Yes,
scene?
ma'am. Yes.
Her story started changing fast. At first, she said she was only with Mr. May, then later admitted there was another guy 1 week before. Judge Lake's face says it all. This just got worse.
Were you intimate with anyone else around these dates?
Maybe a week between.
Oh, which week?
I would say the week of the 13th.
So the week of the 13th, you were intimate with refrigerator guy?
Yes, Your Honor.
After all this drama, here we go.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. May, you are the father.